All right, hi, my name is Jarrod Haning with Mindset Performance. If you've been trying to juggle work and trying to juggle family and feel like all you have left over is not enough free time, and you're not being seen or valued or heard for what you have to offer, if you're trying to have the same conversations and it's just not working, you're not getting the help that you need, you're not getting the support that you need, it's like they don't understand or maybe don't care. If you're tired of that, I want to show you the first tool to change that. Now, you don't need to change what you're asking for. You don't need to change how you're asking for it. You don't need to change like your tone of voice or anything like that. All we need to do is put the information in a different order, and it unlocks different things in the brain. Let me show you how to do that. Now, what I'm going to show you here, this pattern QBR, it causes people emotionally to say yes, especially at home, or really even at work. You don't want people doing things because they feel like they have to. If they feel like they have to do the task, then that just creates another problem that you're going to have to deal with later on, because they're not going to do it with excellence. You're going to have to follow up with them. You're going to have to keep asking them every time. It doesn't solve the problem if they have to do it, if they're forced. What we want is for them to proactively want to do it, for them to want to help, want to contribute. That solves the problem. Now you don't have to keep asking or nagging or whatever, because it opens up a new possibility. So this was studied in the 70s by a researcher at Stanford, I believe. Her name was Ellen Langer. And what she did is she sent her graduate assistant to the copy machine line. So he's standing in the back of the line for the copy machine, and he asked the questions. He says, can I make some copies? And 60% of the time, people said yes. Okay, so what? 60% of the time people said yes, you can cut in line, let you make some copies. Well, then they sent him back. The new line forms, right? He goes back to line, but this time he provides a reason. Can I make some copies? This is due today. Provides a reason, and 98% of the time they said yes. Go ahead and cut in line. Ask the question, provided a reason. 98% of the time. Yep, get on up there. Go ahead and cut in line, right? Then they went back and they tried something else. They added the word because. Can I make some copies? Because this is due today. When they did that, they noticed something interesting. Now you might be noticing that 97% of the time they said yes, and you're thinking, well, why did it drop? It dropped because the reason no longer matters. They were able to take this order, start with the question, say the word because, provide the reason, in this order. And if you do that, what they found is that the brain shuts off after the word because, and it doesn't even matter what the reason is. He could go back and say, can I make some copies? He's asking to cut in line because I already have some. Well, that's kind of a nonsensical reason. If you were listening to the reason, you wouldn't be like, oh, well, yeah, it's a good reason to cut in line. Can I make some copies? Because I'm curious how the machine works. That's a nonsensical reason. This is the power of the order. Start with the question, say the word because, ask the reason. Now, when I work with some of my higher-end clients about this kind of thing, and we role play it the first couple times, it's interesting the way the brain makes sense of this. Like I'll say, all right, let me hear how you'd make that request using this pattern, QBR. And they'll say, hey, I've noticed that the trash is kind of overflowing, and I've noticed that maybe we should look at finding a way to take out the trash, and I've noticed that we kind of tend to talk about this every Thursday. So wait, time out. You've said a lot of stuff, but none of it was an actual question. Start with the question. They say, okay, all right, let's do it again. Okay. They say, hey, would you be willing to think about taking out the trash? It's not really a question, because you want them to take out the trash, not think about it. Okay? All right, we'll try it again. Can you take out the trash? It's not really a question either. We don't want to know if they think they're capable of it. We want them to take out the trash. So here's a question. Will you take out the trash? Can I count on you to take out the trash? That's an actual question. Say the word because and then provide the reason. Because I'm washing dishes, because I'm cooking, because I'm tired, whatever the reason is. Now this is what's interesting. People come and they say, man, I shouldn't have to do that. They're my employees. I shouldn't have to give them a reason. You're right. You shouldn't have to. Well, is your current strategy working? This isn't something that you have to do. It's something that you get to do. By using the word because and providing a reason, it creates in them the emotional desire to want to help, and you don't have to ask anymore. If you're willing to simply use the word because, provide a reason, things go so much smoother. I want you to try that out. Now, you might be wondering, well, like, what does it matter? So, here, let's pretend that you're at work and I come in to interrupt you in the middle of the day. And this is what I say. I say, hey, listen, man, I'm really busy right now. And I got all these folders to prepare, and I got to go to lunch to meet this guy, and I'm not sure I can get these folders done, and we got this meeting at 2 o'clock, and we're really worried about getting all this done. Because of all that, would you help me with these folders? Now, just kind of notice how you felt emotionally during that. Here I am, giving you my spiel. Well, I'm busy, and I don't know how to do this, and I've got to worry about that, and I need help with this, and I'm not sure of that, and I need help with... While I'm talking, most people are kind of like this. They're like, get to the point. What are you getting at? You trying to butter me up? Just get to the point. Like, what's going on? They're in this posture. Now, while our reasons are very meaningful to us, when we open with our reason, it creates this posture in the other person. It's like, hey, what's going on? Get to the point. They feel guarded. They feel like you're buttering them up or trying to pass the buck or take advantage of them or something. It's in this posture. But if you start with the question, if you imagine you're at work and I come in to interrupt you, like, oh my gosh, hey, would you help me with these folders? Because I've got to go to lunch right now and I don't think I can get the folders done and lunch at the same time. It creates a different atmosphere. Oh, that's why. Yeah, I'd be happy to help. Start with the question, end with the reason. Now, there is some social reasons that we tend to shy away from using this. We feel that opening with the question is cold, it's rude, it's abrasive. And we feel that our reason is really good. And if we just explain our reason well enough, they'll go along with what we want. Makes sense to us, but just notice how it plays out in reality. When somebody comes to you with their reason, it tends to produce this posture. What are you getting at? Why are you telling me all this information? Just get to it. What's going on? You trying to take advantage of me? You trying to persuade me or manipulate me? What's going on? It tends to create this because there's not a context for the reason. Start with the question, get that out of the way right away, and then before you even finish the reason, they're like, yeah, sure, I'd be happy to help. It shifts them emotionally. The reason I offer this is my work at Mindset Performance is to teach people how to think at a higher level. What this does is it rewires the way we think about making requests and about being heard and seen and valued. By presenting the information in a different order, it causes people to hear you differently. I mean, I have women all the time who are tired of having the same conversation over and over and over with their spouse, and it's not working. They're not being seen or heard or valued. All they do is present the information in a new order. Will you take out the trash because I'm cooking dinner right now? Bam! Trash gets taken out, just like that. Now they feel super nervous and awkward. They're like, oh my gosh, they're going to think this is... But it works. And then the husband is writing me a thank you card. He's like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. Now I actually want to help. I hear what she's saying. I want to help. Oh my gosh, it creates that emotional value. But when you start with the reason, which we tend to do as humans, it creates this, and it doesn't go anywhere. If you found value in this approach to being seen and heard and valued, I'd encourage you to check out the Mind Scan. What the Mind Scan does is it prints up a graph of our thinking patterns, and this is what allows us to see where any blind spots are that could be tripping us up, or any breakthroughs are that could be waiting for us. When I work with my clients, they normally double their income in the first year by working half as many hours, and that is all made possible by just taking a look at their thinking patterns. If you're interested in seeing what your thinking patterns look like, there's a link around here somewhere. Just go to the home page or Breakthrough or Mindset, whatever it is, and go check out the Mind Scan and see if you think what you find in your thinking patterns is a good fit for the results that life's calling you to next.